Welcome to Veterans Voice, where we highlight programs and services that support our veterans. I'm James Mabel. The military focuses on physical fitness as a foundation for mission readiness. Maintaining that in the civilian world can be challenging. We are joined today by Brian Goldstein, owner of StretchLab, a veteran-friendly company with 2 Houston locations. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, James. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. So tell us who should consider assisted stretching. And actually, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, certainly. So StretchLab itself has been around going on about 7 years nationally. Locally here in Houston, we just hit our 3-year mark. As you mentioned already, we have 2 locations. Started this journey just shy of 4 years ago as a whole when we started developing in Houston. Myself, actually have a background in engineering and business management, and then turned into my passion of health, wellness, lifestyle, and turning that into what we do on a day-to-day basis. In terms of getting into what is StretchLab and who's it for, honestly, it's for everybody. It's for as young as the kids can be going through growth spurts and young athletes to seniors and individuals who are even in memory care facilities. We've really spanned the whole gamut. I would say our core in terms of who we work with on a day-to-day basis when you're talking about stretching is someone who is just dealing with life. They are working, busy professionals. They are still active and working out on a daily basis, maybe still playing some intramural type sports at some level. No matter if you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, we see everybody still working out and having a good time. So we're here to keep reducing the stress and supporting recovery so people can go about their daily lives.
Excellent. So there are veterans out there who have not stopped doing physical activities after the military. They're just as active as they were in the service. And there are veterans that maybe are looking to get back into the swing of things as far as physical fitness. So can you tell us first the difference between regular stretching and assisted stretching?
Yeah, so when we talk about regular stretching, everybody kind of knows in their mind that when they wake up in the morning, they should try to stretch, be it doing something as more regimented as like a yoga routine, or just getting out of bed, touching their toes, doing a few twists, side bends, whatever it might be. Assisted stretching goes to the next level. It's really something that you would see more obviously in a sports arena. You would see basketball players, football players, baseball players getting stretched by somebody. So if you've been an athlete, you maybe have seen that more frequently in your life. But when you talk about the everyday person, you don't wake up thinking, oh, I'm going to go get stretched by somebody. You think about, I need to just quickly get my blood flowing and circulating, and then go on about your daily life. But the assisted stretch goes to another level. You're really able to facilitate the movement of your body. We're not manipulating your body. We're truly stretching your muscles, helping lengthen and strengthen your muscles. And it's all part of a whole periodization process where you have to work on increasing the overall intensity and the frequency of your stretch. It's not something we jump into and all of a sudden just stretch you to the extreme that we can go. We got to gradually get from point A to point B and build a journey out with each individual person we work with.
Wow. So I'm wondering, could you mention something, yoga, for example, as a form of stretching? How does assisted stretching compare to other wellness modalities like yoga?
Yeah, it's another function of it. So yoga is more of a workout. You're going to work on a lot more breathing. You're going to work on a routine. You get some core and strength building. Stretching is going to build some strength, but it's really about the lengthening piece of what you're doing. So, the other wellness modality I'd kind of put it in the same light as is more massage. So you're talking about things that might feel good on your body. But when you talk about stretching is something that over time, as you stretch 1 to 2 times a week, getting physically stretched in addition to the at-home stretching routine that you do, you will see real results in terms of, one, how your body feels, but also how you can bend down and touch your toes without pain. Think about, putting your shoes on in the morning. No matter what age you are, you got to put your shoes on in the morning, but it kind of hurts as you get older and older in age. And I could say that myself, and I know parents and grandparents could say the same thing. So being able to help really anybody reduce that pain and maybe the fatigue that they might have in the morning and jumpstart their day, that's really where we see that.
And Brian, can you tell us a little bit more about how often we should stretch? Because I know that we typically associate stretching with something we do before we go running or after we lift weights or whatnot. But it sounds like it should be something that should be done more often throughout the week.
I'd even go further and say it's throughout the day. When you look at stretching, it's not just do it once a day. If you really build a good routine and good habit, and it's the same thing as fitness, you have to build healthy habits, healthy eating habits, healthy workout habits, getting up in the morning, doing a stretch, going to bed and stretching before bed. But in between, being mindful that at work, taking an ergonomic stretch break, these are all things that we all hear about and think about practicing, but it's about putting to actually implementing in our lives. So when we talk about getting stretched, it's not something that practically everybody can go do every day. We see people typically coming in 1 to 2 days a week getting physically stretched. That's where you're going to get a deeper assisted stretch going into a little more of a press and release form of movement on your body, which you can't easily do at home on your own. So it's more of the everyday, multiple times a day, but then coming in 1 to 2 times a week.
So I'm just thinking every day and multiple times a day sounds like it would be very refreshing, and it would definitely help us all with relaxing if we're stretching that often. How long, or can you tell us how long will we get to a point where we're starting to see the results from stretching?
Yeah, like anything, it takes time to see results, and in this case, feel the results too. We typically look at 3 months as a realistic window to start off and say, I'm going to feel results in a week or two. You're only, I'll say, mentally messing with yourself. And at the end of the day, we've got to see true results. So when you look at, a 1 month routine, checking in, 2 months, checking in, 3 months, checking in, that's where we really start to see the actual progress in terms of how much further can you bend down? Do you have better mobility, posture, symmetry? Things like that we can truly measure and help you feel at the same time.
Oh, that is awesome to hear. And so speaking of results, how will you know that a client of yours has reached success with assisted stretching?
Yeah, so we do have a system, technology that we call MAPS. It allows us to visualize what it is that you have from imbalance in your posture, your activation of muscles. So over time, we can see you going from one side to the other or front and back. Somebody's got scoliosis, you might see a little more pronounced. And then you couple that with the fact that you feel different. If you can truly bend down, and again, using the analogy of just touching your toes to tie your shoes when you sit on a step or the edge of the bed, do you feel better at the end of the day or not? And all that ties together. We can say, when you stretch once, yeah, you feel good. But if you stretch over and over, you shouldn't have to repeat what you're doing on a daily basis to see that same result.
Wow, sounds like we need to do more assisted stretching, all of us. Brian, for those who are interested in learning more about StretchLab, can you tell us some details about how to get involved?
Yeah, it's very easy. You can reach out to us through our website, StretchLab.com. You can select one of the locations, whichever is nearest to you, be it Bel Air, be it the Heights. There's locations around the city, now 11 in progress of being open. So quite a bit at this point. You can reach us by phone in Bel Air, just give you one reference point, 281-971-3252, and also social media. So look forward to hearing from someone.
Brian, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for the opportunity.
So after the break, how HCC is helping veterans join the growing world of real estate.
What does moving forward look like? Houston Community College has hundreds of choices, small class sizes, and personalized support to help you do just that. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
For more than a year, we have kept you informed with more than 500 remote episodes. But now we're back, bigger and better, with more news and more guests. Join us live every weekday at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on HCC TV at noon and 5 p.m. You can watch from anywhere. We go where you go.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
Welcome back to Veterans Voice. The real estate market is complicated right now, with challenges and opportunities for both residential and commercial markets. We're joined today by Dr. Juan Crawford, HCC's Program Director for Real Estate. Dr. Crawford, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, Dr. Crawford, you are a veteran. Can you tell us about your service in the military?
Yes, sir. I've been retired. It seems like 100 years, but it's not 100. So I've been retired 19 years now. I was enlisted for 11 years, kept going to school, and finally got my degree, and then applied and got a commission for the last 10 years. I retired in 2003. Last job was flying aboard the Rivet Joint Reconnaissance Platform, spy plane. Flew out of Japan. We flew against Russia, China, Vietnam, and North Korea. And so if there's a sword protecting America, I flew up at the edge of the sword. So I like that.
Very well. Well, we'll get to more about your service in the military and in the community here soon. But first, wanted to talk about the real estate market. But can you tell us more about the HCC real estate program?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. At HCC, and I'll be a little bit redundant, but just bear with me. The three things you can do at HCC: you can take the 6 classes needed to get your real estate license. Principles of Real Estate 1, Principles 2, Law of Agency, Law of Contract, Contract Forms of Addendum, Real Estate Finance. Or the 6 to get your license plus co-op and real estate exam prep to get an actual certificate in real estate. Or the 6 to get your license plus 14 others to actually get an associate's degree in real estate, which is the where that you're going, the place where you're going to go to get all of the knowledge you need to make differences in people's lives, in your family's lives. The associate's degree is definitely the way to go.
If anyone is watching the news right now, it sounds like the real estate market is hot. So it sounds like it's even better for those who are wanting to work as real estate agents.
Absolutely. In Houston right now, we are in the 4th largest city in North America, and the Houston real estate market is booming. That I would say that right now in the, I think, Sugarland area, we have a 20-day housing, 20 days of houses on the market, saying that if nobody put a house on the market in the next 20 days, there wouldn't be one for sale. Well, then that's then taken away from not that area, but going to Houston, we're probably about a 30-day window. We got 30 days of inventory. If nobody put a house on the market in the next 30 days, they would all be gone.
Wow, that's a very hot market in Sugarland. So tell us about the first-time buyers and homeowner education program.
I am a member of the Houston Black Real Estate Association, and we do a free HUD seminar where HUD is going to require the training in order for you to get the down payment assistance. In order to get first-time home buyers, there's a class that you got to take. HUD just stands for Housing and Urban Development. They are going to have a class, and we are a provider for that class under the Houston Black Real Estate Association. Call it we are members of NAR, the National Association of Real Estate.
And very well. And I want to go back to what we were discussing earlier about your service in the military, and wanted to learn from you how you have connected your service, being a veteran, with a career in the real estate industry.
Well, me being retired in the military, retired Air Force, was what attracted me over. I came into real estate, attracted me over to the HUD foreclosure. So I was a HUD foreclosure list and then a HUD foreclosure broker. All a HUD meant was that somebody bought a house, they stopped making their payments, they got it foreclosed. But because it was an FHA loan, whatever lender foreclosed on it, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, whomever, turned it back over to FHA. both FHA and HUD are the same entity. Can't sell every house. It's called. So that was my first intro into the real estate market. Now FHA is only for owner occupants. So we were turning those around for owner occupants as well. They would get a higher selection rate on owner occupant because they're going to live in the house. That was then. This is now. Now you have so many companies that are. 2 years ago there were 4,800 foreclosures hit the market in Houston every 30 days. Every 30 days, 300. Today, only 300 hit the market. What do you mean 3? What happened to the 4,500 houses? They didn't hit the market. What do you mean they didn't hit the market? They got sold to investors looking for buying houses in groups of 100 at a time, 500 at a time, 1,000 houses at a time. 60 Minutes just did a real big thing on the housing market, and the income generating properties that are generating income are really being sold fast now. So one of the things that I told people to look at are duplexes, something that will allow you to purchase a house, purchase a duplex, rent out the other half of the duplex for 85% of the note. That would put you and your family in a position to where you're able to change some lives and do some things different.
Dr. Crawford, thank you so much for your analysis and feedback on the real estate market. After the break, we'll talk to Dr. Crawford about how he gives back to the community.
To eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
911, where's your emergency?
Welcome back to the Veterans Voice. We've been talking with Dr. Juan Crawford, HCC's program coordinator for real estate. Outside of class, Dr. Crawford is involved with 2 nonprofits. Dr. Crawford, can you describe your work with the Houston Black Real Estate Association?
Yes, the Houston Black Real Estate Association, we are members of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. National Association of Real Estate Brokers is one of the longest trade organizations, or one of the oldest trade organizations that we have in America. And when African Americans came to NAR, National Association of Realtors, in 1949 and said, or 1946, and said we want to join, they said no. What do you mean? No, we don't accept Black people. In 1957, they would not accept Black people. 1967, they would not accept Black people. It wasn't until 1972 that they started to accept Black people. And so I say that to say that we became realtors. We're part of. Now, today, we are also members of NAR. I'm also a realtor, but the parent organization was NARAB, National Association of Real Estate. And so we are Houston's arm of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Houston arm is called Houston Black Real Estate Association. And so we do community events where we're housing fair democracy in housing, so that you should be able to buy whatever house you want. You should not be redlined. And there are things that have had repercussions throughout our history, and they affect housing. So when you looked at from a housing standpoint, to be able to pass on housing, be able to pass that on as wealth to your family to come, that was something that didn't exist. And so, we are working very hard to do that. We just did a community event where once a year we have Real TIS Week. Once a year we go to a local church. We were at Rock Church 2 Saturdays ago, and we must have run maybe 150 to 175 people through there to show them, okay, so we have home buyers or lenders, we have inspectors, we have realtors, we have the different people that you are going to need along that process. Be able to introduce people to that, so that they know there's people out there that want to help you. How do you find the people that want to help you?
Excellent work being done in the community. And speaking of that, can you tell us about the African American Leadership Council for the Houston Symphony?
So I'm also on the board of directors of the African American Leadership Council, which is part of the Houston Symphony, Houston Symphony's, again, African American Leadership Council. I'm on the board of directors. One of the things, when you look at, if Houston is the 4th largest city in North America, what's bigger than us? New York, LA, Chicago. So now let's look at diversity. All right, Houston is more diverse than New York, we're more diverse than Chicago, we're more diverse than LA. So we could quite possibly be the most diverse city in the nation. So now let's take a look at the world. What's bigger than us? Well, at the 4th largest city in North America, so we know there's only 3 other cities larger than us in North America. What's bigger than us in the world? So Mexico City, and 99% of them are going to be Mexican. Russia, Moscow, 99.9% of them are going to be Russian. London, 99.9% of them are going to be British. So we could quite possibly be the most diverse city on the planet. And with that diversity, instead of taking advantage of that, let's use it to our advantage. Not take advantage of it, let's use it to our advantage. We'll use it to our advantage by putting the symphony in different parts of society that would not normally find the symphony, would not normally get to listen to the symphony. And we have symphony being embedded in different communities throughout the city. That is huge. And again, mine is the African American Leadership Council. So we have an Hispanic Leadership Council and an Asian American Leadership Council. And those are 2 other councils that help to engage the symphony in their communities.
That's very interesting insight into Houston and its place in the world and how diverse it is in comparison to other major cities in the United States. But then when you bring in other cities like Mexico City or London, and so it's just great insight there about our place. It's such a diverse city for sure. Did your service in the military have an impact on your desire to be involved in nonprofit work?
Not really. I'm going to say not really and yes. What you mean not really? Yes, did it or did it not? What I did is I looked at the amount of money that the federal government spent to train me to be a leader. That I was a leader in basic training. I was a leader in tech school. I was a leader in Airman Leadership School. I was a leader in NCO Academy. I was a leader in officer training. I was a leader in officer training. So I counted, there had to be at least between $750,000 and $1 million worth of training. Well, it would be a shame to waste that or to just put it on myself. So that I want to be able to utilize that training utilize my leadership training in other areas around the city, around in other areas around me. If they're around me, then I need to be able to use that. And that's, I think, what I've done with, the Houston Black Real Estate Association. My story is how I got to HCC. They needed volunteers, and I volunteered 1 semester, 2 semesters, 3 semesters. After my 3rd semester of volunteering as a mentor, they said, "Would you like to become an adjunct?" Okay, I'll become an adjunct. And that was in 2014, where here we are now in 2022, and I'm the department chair. I didn't see that one coming. But to be able to use that, one of the things, one also did the church, I go to Church Without Walls, and we did our spiritual gifts. And my number 1 spiritual gift is shepherding. Shepherding is leading people someplace that they are not. Leading people someplace that they are not. And so if that's a gift, then I need to be able to utilize that for the betterment of me instead of the betterment of myself.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. That's really, really excellent, shepherding. And just so everyone knows, I do work with Dr. Crawford all the time in the Career Services Department, helping him with students that are finishing co-ops with the real estate program. And so I appreciate all that you do for your students. And I always look forward to working with you, Dr. Crawford.
Absolutely. One of the things that I share is that people are used to trading time for dollars. You work, you get paid, stop working, you stop getting paid. Well, when you come into real estate, it's not trading time for dollars anymore. You trade knowledge for dollars. What? It means I can go out and learn more things, make more money, and help more people. Not go out and work more. So then what I share with people is that either you or your spouse has traded time for dollars. And it's hard when they come into real estate. It's like, you've been doing this real estate thing for, so long, you're not making any money. It's not because you're trying to trade time for dollars as opposed to knowledge. I can go out and learn more things and acquire more knowledge, and it'll pay off. And that's the key to real estate. That's the key. It's maybe the key to other things in life, but I don't want to work, for the rest of my life for somebody and work, I get paid, I stop working, I stop getting paid.
Wow. The best way to cap our show today. Dr. Crawford, thank you so much for being with us.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. If you'd like more information on any of the organizations and services you've seen on the program today, visit our website at hccs.edu/Veterans Voice. An audio version of this show is available on Apple Podcasts. Just search for the HCC TV Podcast Network and then hit the subscribe button. For everyone here at HCC TV, thank you for joining us on Veterans Voice.
La forma en la que ves tus opciones puede cambiar en un minuto. Houston Community College te ayuda a encontrar tu camino con más de 200 programas que te abren oportunidades a puestos de trabajo. Inscríbete hoy para las clases de primavera y enfoca tu futuro con HCC.
Kids will be kids, which just goes to say kids will be curious. They get into everything. If there's a loaded firearm in the house, they could get their hands on that too. Keeping firearms locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition in a place inaccessible to kids can help keep your loved ones safe from family fire. Safe gun storage saves lives.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering them could save you from having a stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.